There has been a lot of chatter about Splatoon 2. I mean, fans are going nuts over this one trailer. Who could blame them? The original Splatoon built up a beautiful, colorful world filled with lovable characters and rich lore to keep the Nintendo Mythos junkies busy with everything from post-apocalyptic theories to segregational allegories to squid language phonetics. Everything in the original game seemed to be connected from a narrative standpoint. Even the online events themselves have some place in the lore, from regular turf wars to the highly anticipated Splatfest celebrations. But there's been something that's been looming in the back of our heads. Ever notice that instance within the new trailer where Marie is shown from the back, with a rather somber outfit and backdrop? Well, of course you did. It's what just about everyone stopped on after rewatching the Switch reveal for the umpteenth time. Fans have already theorized that this may be indicative of the fact that the iconic squid's sister, Callie, will be absent from the game. This has further extended into varying sorts of speculation. Some gather that Marie's outfit could indicate she is mourning, based on its resemblance to Japanese funeral garb. Others have went as far as to say that not only is she mourning, but she's mourning the death of her sister, cousin, Callie. Being as we are, we were, along with many others, skeptical that Nintendo would remove one of the most iconic characters in their newly born IP. Besides, a developer already made sure to clear up the disparity by clarifying that, yes, Callie will indeed be in the game. So, what's Marie doing alone? Where's Callie? Well, our guess is that Callie isn't dead, but perhaps instead, as others have theorized, she's simply missing. There's a theory circulating various forums that this is all due to the result of the last Splatfest that took place in the original game. The results of which went in Marie's favor. Now, this idea really only stops there on most accounts, with there being few exceptions. But if Callie's missing, we want to know why. Perhaps the first game already points us to that answer. Remember, before every Splatfest theme was announced, there was normally this odd preface the Squid Stars would recite, which would give a hint as to where they received the message for the month's Splatfest theme. "We have word from on high," Callie would say. The fanbase hasn't ever gotten an explanation for this apparently high entity, even from within the context of the story. It sounds almost governmental, or perhaps divine. Some of you apt followers of all things Splatoon already know, of course, that this has actually since been addressed by two of the more prominent developers behind the game. According to them, this word from on high is actually a signal that has somehow made its way to the fax machine depicted in the rather haunting picture that's always accompanied with the on high statement. A message that is nearly 12,000 years old. Well, great, this essentially confirms that Splatoon is post-mankind. Perhaps mutations occurred in humans in some nautical disaster of the ancient past. Whatever the case, this is great news for our theory. We don't think we need to resort to the DJ Octavio escape theory, which for some reason or another is growing in popularity. We concede to the idea of that villain's return, but we think something bigger is at play here. If the developer's statements are true, then we can say for certainty that these messages are being received via fax, which makes total sense, right? We've had nothing but dog and cat related Splatfests that seem to indicate a far gone past for the Squid Society. Heck, we even got an Autobots and Decepticons theme, which fits perfectly into that scheme. However, the way that Splatoon ended muddled everything up. The last Splatfest was Callie versus Marie. Now, how could this possibly be a message from the past? How can this be an ancient message that was received over 10,000 years ago? The answer is simple. It cannot. Unless you'd like to brace yourselves with a tinfoil hat. What we mean is, there are two possibilities to end this. Either Callie and Marie are not actually receiving messages from the past, but instead are receiving them from an unknown source that seeks to control the tides of Squid Society, that is, what's fresh or not fresh, or these are indeed 12,000-year-old messages, but planned 12,000-year-old messages. Messages that were sent purposefully in order to ensure that future generations are properly organized in terms of popularity and social class, down to the Squid Sisters themselves. We can already see within the context of gameplay you can't even buy yourself some clothing until you've become fresh enough. Success is clearly controlled by social standing, and it affects your quality of life. Could this mean that Callie is absent because she's been deemed no longer fresh to the powers that be? That she's been forcefully removed from the public eye due to the results of the last Splatfest? It would make for a darker story indeed, and would coincide with this new aesthetic Splatoon 2 appears to be adopting, the look of rebelliousness and youthful revolution. Now, in reference to the first potentiality, there is a chance that these messages are being relayed by a more domestic entity, the most likely option being the Octarians. But we dislike straying too much from the previous idea because it lies in direct contrast to the words of the developers themselves. Of course, this is all speculation and will most likely not be explicated as thoroughly in the actual game, but we may be onto something here. As always, please let us know if there's any way we can fine-tune our ideas, and if you've got evidence that supports or refutes ours, slap it down in the comments and we'll reply promptly, and may even update our thoughts in a future video. Thank you so much for watching, stay fresh.